Welcome to the 2021 7th Annual Global Maths and Science Lesson. Hooray! This is our first woohoo! This is our first live broadcast of the day. We've done some with schools that weren't live, and there's schools all over the world. We've already completed the lesson. We're going to do this lesson today, and we are doing it, dedicating this to homeschooling for kids. This is a group on Facebook, and this live is being dedicated to them. Now let me show our faces. Here we go. Woohoo! We are Yvette and Caroline. We are, so we are with Happy Maths. I mean, Bubbly Maths. Don't know what we are anymore. Happy Maths is one of our courses.
What we are.
Yeah, Global Maths and Science Lesson is a G10 activity. Oh my goodness. Is that on Facebook? Is that coming up on Facebook?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's all right. I'm just attempting to share this with the group because we were supposed to go live with the group and it didn't work. So is this, here we go. Right, share. I'm going to share with the group now.
Okay, excellent.
So that we're on with the group, and that is homeschooling for kids, homeschooling your kids, and that's not what I wanted to put on there. So they'll have to work I'll say this, but bubblymaths.co.uk. That is if you want a certificate of participation. And it's disappeared. This is frustrating. Homeschooling your kids. I'm just going to share it, and I'm not even going to type anything in. Post. And I'll put it in later. Okay, so welcome to the Global Maths and Science Lesson on learning maths with games. We do this every year. We've done it with bubbles, we've done it with sport, we've done it with DNA and balloons, we've done it with lots of different things. And this year it's on learning maths with games. We're going to play some fraction games, which might sound a bit scary, but the whole point is the games that we've got are there to help you make friends with fractions. So
I like that. Make friends with fractions.
Make friends, that's Tony's expression. Yeah, I love it. Make friends with fractions.
I like that. Let's make
taking
friends
notes
with fractions.
Oh right.
Okay, carry on. Don't mind me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not minding you at all, I think. Okay, right. So we're going to start, as they say, without further ado. We're going to start. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do, first of all, we're going to the 30-minute Global Maths and Science lesson consists of two main activities, and then there's extensions and other things you can do around it for different age groups. So we're going to start with the first activity, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some other different things, and then we're going to do the second activity. So I'm going to share my camera, my visualizer. There's my visualizer. So thank goodness you can see Yvette, because all you can see here is a bunch of sticks. So in the guide, which is in the description, and the link, by the way, if you want a certificate of participation, if you're watching this video, you're entitled to a certificate of participation. Go to the link in the description, and you will get one. If you do it, you got to do it. Right. So this is a fraction wall. We're going to build a fraction wall.
Just watching the video doesn't count.
No, you got to do it. What does somebody say? You can't learn maths by watching. You have to learn maths by doing.
Excellent.
So I've actually got a bigger challenge than you've got, because I don't have two full sets of sticks here. This is called a sorting game, and it's very powerful, and you can use this for anything you want to learn, whether it's making even 2 + 2 = 4. You can have you have a 2 and a 2 and a plus and an equals and a 4 and lots of other numbers, and you can make up things. It's by sorting existing things and getting them in the right order. So I've got to make a fraction wall. So the top one is the unit. So that's 1. From there to there, That's 1, because we're dealing with fractions. These are all fractions less than 1. So the next one is 2. Well, hey, I'm doing well. Now, can you tell me if I've made an error? Because it has been known, this is something I do once in a great while. Yeah, like once in a great while per day. Let's see, multiple times a day. That's not it. Let's see. Is that one, are they shorter or longer than that? Now, this is a great way for you to introduce fractions to your young learners, because all you actually have to do here is put them in order of which little sections are bigger. See, that one's duplicated. So that's actually, I quite like this, having more than one of each. It gives an extra level to it. I've actually put half on there. That's we'll do in a minute. That's 1 again, so that's not it. And what's this? I got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can count them. You can just count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. So as you can see, as long as you can count, even if you can't count, you can go by the length. Is this one? Are these longer than that? And those longer than that? So any age can really do this once they reach a certain. Oh, here we go. Now, where does that belong? Does that belong there? Let's have a look. That one, have we already got that one? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've already got it. What about this one? Where does that belong? That's longer than that. So that's going to go there. Is it all in the right place? And you can work together and make sure that have somebody watching, be watching each other, or you can have 2 people doing it side by side and see who does it fastest. So many.
Caroline,
hello.
Can you make your screen the biggest one, because it's a bit hard to count the sections?
Can I? That's a good question. Yes. Can I?
I think you can.
Well, I've pressed a button there. I've pressed a button there. It's not doing anything. What if I do that? Oh,
there you go. That's it.
Oh,
that's much better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'm not even sure if I've got them all. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm missing one strip. So that's all right. We can identify that as well. And you can count how many bits there are. So as you can see, all different ages can do this, and you can do it as a competition. You can do it in lots of different ways. And then what you can do is, if you have it on a piece of paper, you can stick it to a piece of paper and you can write what the fractions are if you want, or how many sections there are in each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and log it like that. So that's game number 1. And it's all in the, if you go to the Global Maths and Science lesson and register. Let me just put, I don't think I put the link. If you go to the Global Maths and Science lesson, we will send you, we'll send you the link to the resource. Sorry, I forgot to put the resource on for today. Right, the next thing we're going to do is show you things you can do with early years. We're going to start at the very beginning. Very young children. If I said, let's both have a piece of cake, or have 2 siblings, or let's both, and I'm going to have this piece, and you're going to have that piece, even very young children are going to say, that's not fair. You've got more than me. And the idea there is that we're looking for equal fractions. With the young children, let's start with halves. We're just going to learn about half. That's the first fraction we tend to learn about, sharing. So now, do we both have half? Do you have half and do I have half? And you can play that game with food, with ice cream, with lots of different things. Okay, now the next game we're going to play is for the next level, and you can imagine lots of different ways you can play that game. Just looking for my notes here. And you could, oh yes, you can get them to match lengths and you can put them alongside each other and make sure that they're the same. And are they the same? Oops, actually now they've got more than me, so maybe we should halve this. Now how many pieces do we have? You can, it's a mixture of fractions and counting. Lots of lovely games you can play with that. And the next level up, you can play with Lego or blocks. And I've just got unit blocks here. They're all the same size, but with Lego, of course, you've got ones where you can have, where it's 1 piece, 2 pieces. You can count the button, the little dots on them, the little connectors on them. And you can play with lots of different things, and you can play these fraction games. You can build fraction walls. And the idea being, you'll see in a moment, that you want, well, as we just had, the different fractions had a different color, or you can alternate colors as well to identify the fractions. And there's lots. Look at that. Look at all those lovely little cubes. They're all 1 centimeter long. I love them. They're called centicubes. So you can do lots of great game, and you can do lots of playing with volume. And it's not just for young children. It's for any age, because you can do surface area and volume in secondary school. They're great activities. It's a great little resource there, and it's 1 centimeter cube, so you can measure accurately. Now I'm pulling out my next fraction wall. Here we go. Now I think this one goes this way up, for some, not quite sure why, but this one goes this way up. And what we're going to do is we're going to play a game. Now the game is with 2 dice. What the game is, you roll 1. Okay, that's a 1. The next one I'm going to roll is a 2. Oh, that's nice and easy. So the smallest of the 2 numbers goes on top, and the larger one goes at the bottom. So that's your fraction. So this is 1 over 2. So which section, now this is a great way to introduce fractions to young learners, and it's a game. Which section has 2, is divided into 2? This is 1. Which section is divided into 2? Well, this section here is divided into 2, but we've only got one of them. So we only count up to 1. So that's the first person. The first person playing the game, take it in turns, or you can do it in groups. So you can have 2 groups. One group it goes first, and then the second group goes second. And that's how far the first person got. Now that's 4, and then 6. Now that fraction is going to be 4 over 6. We'll put that back in a second. Which of these is divided into 6? We can count them, work out which one it is, and then get familiar with it you learn about it by playing with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's that one. But we don't know what 4/6 is. We probably can't even say 4/6, or, depending what age you are, of course. So, but you can just play the game by finding which one has 6 blocks and counting them. We've got 4 of them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's there. So the second person got there. So, and this is the maximum you can get, which is 1 at this end. That's your top number, your biggest number. And this is your smallest number. So who got the larger number? Was it 1/2 or 4/6? And you can say them, or you can just say 4 over 6. You can say the fraction, or just say 4 over 6. And this is the winner. The one that's closest to this end is the winner. So you just keep playing that game, and you can play it in different ways. And of course, the older the learner, you can make it more challenging. You can decide you can throw 1 and then decide who's going to get the next. You can even throw a dice to decide who goes next. You can vary the game in lots of different ways. The idea is to, first of all, familiarize yourself with fractions. And then once you are familiar with fractions, get a better feel for them and become fluent in fractions. Now, this wall only goes up to 6, which is a great place to start. Just to get to halves, just as far as there, all you want to be doing is playing with food. If that's all, food or other things, you can be playing with the little blocks, and each of you have the same amount, the blocks again. You can go with, everybody gets the same, 2 people get the same amount, that's a half. Everybody gets a half. If there's 3 people, well, then it's split into 3. You can get bigger fraction walls. So we're going to go up a level. When you're going up to the next level, you can get bigger fraction walls, but we're just going to go back to this one just for a moment, because we've got some great questions we can ask. You can look at find 3/4. So have 3/4. Okay, this is to gain fluency and to gain agility. So 3/4 is there. Is there anything else on this fraction wall that is on the same line as 3/4? Well, no, up to 6 there isn't. But what about if we go up to 12? Find 3/4, and if we go up to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm doing it now. Look at that. Can you see that? There are 3/4 and 2, 4, 6, 8, and get that right, 9/12. That's all right, 9/12. They are equivalent fractions. Now, this is, again, a great way to introduce equivalent fractions. And you want to write them out. You can write 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, or you can reach that each one is a 12th, and you add them up. You can scribe on here any way you like, and you can write down here that that's 1, that's a half, that's the thirds, that's the quarters, all the way up to that's the 12ths. Write that down on this side, and find out what the equivalent fractions are. And one thing I love is when you get something like this, so it's 5/5. Well, where is that? That's at the end. Well, every single number has an equivalent fraction to 1, which is itself over itself. It makes it the its entity. 1, any number over itself is an entity, which is 1. So that's other games that you can play in addition to the games you're playing. The two main games for the lesson are playing with the dice on this. Oh, and 2, if you don't have dice, I've got some smaller dice here, but you can also do a spinner. And on the website, there's a place to print out the spinner, or you can draw it out. And this is a bit of cable tie, or you can use a paper clip that's just unbent, and you can even use a pen in the middle of it. You don't have to use a thumbtack. If you don't have one, you can put a pen in the middle and spin it round like that. Whoops, over there. Spin it round like that. There you go. And the other thing is, if you want to play the same game, so you get better practice with the bigger fractions, you can play it with this. You can roll 2 dice twice. You can, if you have a D, that's a D20, not a D12. You need a D12, not a D20. What was I thinking? If you happen to have a D12, if you've got a gamer in the house, have a D12, you can use a D12. Or you can make another little, this is actually got 10 spots on it, but you can make one with 12 and do it as a spinner on that one. Now, if you want to go further, this is another game. This is for people in secondary that are using algebra. And again, it's a way to introduce algebra in a way, or just introduce manipulating numbers, substituting numbers for x. So the first thing you want to do is make x equal to 1 for all of these and calculate it. Get them to calculate what each fraction is if you make x equal to 1. And is that if you put x equals to 1, then let's see what fraction comes out when you work out the numbers, when you do the calculation. And then to play the game, what you do is you throw a dice twice. You can throw bigger numbers if you want, by the way. The first number determines what level you're playing at, and the second number determines the number you substitute for x. So let's say you've got level 1. Let's pretend you've got level 1. You'd put a 5 there. So that's 1/5. So the person that threw that would have reached there. And let's do it again. Level 2, and the number you've thrown is 6. So that's 3 6s, 18, plus 1, 19, 2 over 19. Well, you've got to work out where that would be. And that's a nice little challenge. So you might want to do some rounding there. If you've got 2 over 19, you might say, well, what happened if you went 2 over 20? And do a bit of rounding. And then if 2 over 20 is 1/10, where would that be? Maybe you could figure out which. I'd use the level 5 there, and I'd go halfway along level 5 to get to work out where 1/10 is, and it would be halfway up level 5, so it'd be down there. So the first person won. So you can see this game can go to a much higher level, and you can simplify it or make it more complicated, and that's up to you. Now, the last thing we're going to do is do something. Actually, I keep forgetting. I know there's something else I wanted to do, and I keep forgetting what it is. And every time I finish a live, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do this. But let's see if I can make sure I remember next time. In the meantime, I'm going to play with chocolate. What better way to have positive feelings about an activity than using something that is exciting and makes people happy. So what I do with this chocolate bar is I cut it up into pieces, into different types of fractions. So I've got all these different, I've got the fractions divided in different ways, and you can just work out, okay, if there were 3 people sharing that bar, how many pieces would everybody have? How many people would have just if we had just one piece per person? How many? If you had 2 pieces per person? There's a game called Chocolate Fractions, and it's in the link when you sign up, so you'll see that and you can play that game. Chocolate Fractions is a lovely game. But here's the last thing we're going to do. Now, I have to confess, this isn't strictly fractions, but it is using my chocolate bar, and it is fun. Now, there is a trick to this. It's a mathematical trick, but check this out. You ready? So there's my bar of chocolate. Whoopsie, you can't see. You didn't tell me you couldn't see. Tell me you can't see. There we go. I hope you could see the fractions before. So there's my bar of chocolate. First thing I do is just cut along one column. So there we go, just from one end to the other end, and split it that way. Great. Next thing I do is I just cut off one row there, the remainder of that top row. Great. Now I'm going to take this piece of chocolate, and I want to keep that piece of chocolate. Oh, let's just make sure we see how many pieces there are first. We've got 4 that way, and 2, 4, 6, 8 that way. So that's 32 pieces. So I'm going to keep this one because I'm hungry and I want some chocolate. Even if I'm not hungry, I still want some chocolate. So, oh dear, but now there's a piece missing. And then we needed enough for 32 people. So, okay, let me see. Let me just do some jiggery-pokery here. Some mathematical jiggery-pokery. And let's see. I've still got my piece. My piece is still here. Let's see how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we've still got 4 by 8 pieces. So we've still got 32 pieces of chocolate, and I get to have my yummy piece for myself. It's called the Infinity Chocolate Bar, or the Infinite Chocolate Bar. Thank you very much. Thank you for, oh, we've got some comments. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Yay, we've got all the links are on the Bubbly Maths Facebook page. All the links that you need are on the Bubbly Maths Facebook page. So if you can go there, then let me put that on here so that you can see it. Let's make friends with fractions. Let me see, we've got something here. I'm going to put the link on for the Bubbly Maths Facebook page, which is where all the links are, and create a banner. Here we go. That's what I do. www.facebook.com/Bubbly Maths, and all the links have just been put on the broadcast there because we can't do it on the one that this is dedicated to. So this is dedicated to homeschooling your, oh, I forgot the name of the group, I'm sorry. Homeschooling your kids, and I hope that was useful to you. Oh dear, it's too late. I've just got a message to say I could have gone live. It's too late. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, and I'll be happy to do another live for the group later. I'll speak to Agatha and see if we can coordinate it. And another day, whatever it is, I'm only too happy to do that. And thank you very much. And I'm going to go and do another live in 30 minutes. Oh, no, I'm not going to do a live. I'm going to a school in Spain in 30 minutes. And I was supposed to be doing something. I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing. It's gone. It has gone. So thank you very much, everybody. And I will, oh, wait a minute. I'll put my face back on so I can say goodbye properly. Not quite sure what's happened to Yvette, but here I am. Thank you very much from Caroline and today's wonderful celebration of the Global Maths and Science lesson. And I hope to see you next year. Please, if you register now for this year, and the link is still going across the screen, then you will receive notification of next year's, and hopefully we'll be doing one a proper one live on the Homeschooling Your Kids group next year, and do the proper hype beforehand, and we've got hopefully have a bunch of people joining us for it. Thank you so much. And I will see you all soon. And I'll be on multiple times, so get used to seeing me today. It's going to happen. Yvette and I have got special guests coming on as well. I've got a young gentleman called Ziggy. I've got the lovely Steve Sherman coming on from South Africa. Ziggy's in Wales. And I'm off to Spain now, so I better go so I can get ready for the broadcast in Spain. Thank you very much. And join us, sign up and get your certificate of participation. If you sign up there, then you'll get an email. We'll ask you to send evidence that you've done it, because you've got to do it. You've got to do the lesson, but you'll get everything you need to do the lesson, and then you can sign up and get your certificate of participation. Thank you very much.